So often when we think about acquisition, you're trying to, bring people in, like you said, for the RB sandwich.
Yeah.
But then it's, well, does this person want the Jamocha milkshake as well?
Jamocha shake, good job.
I said it right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So is the strategy for that, is the content and kind of what are those tactics and things that people put in place for those pieces?
So a lot of the retention tactics are customer loyalty things where it's outbound email campaigns that you're constantly nurturing your existing base. You know the things they're interested in, you're feeding them the educational content, you're reminding them you have this special thing coming up. And then social media, right? You're encouraging them to follow you on social media and you're reminding them about all these different services you offer so that you stay top of mind. And then with the acquisition, it's you need to get outside your ecosystem that exists already. So it's how do you get, ad placements in the right spots where new people are going to see you. Earned media is a great, way to do that.
On today's episode of The Claw, I speak with Cynthia Hayes. She's responsible for client success at Liger Partners, and we talk about acquisition and retention and which one is better. So tune in to find out what we think on The Claw. Welcome to The Claw. I'm Eric Holtzclaw, Chief Strategist at Liger Partners. The Claw is the marketing podcast for C-suite executives. I'm speaking today with Cynthia Hayes. She is responsible for our client success team.
Hi, Eric.
Hi. I never see you.
I know.
We never talk.
No, never.
So we thought we should do a podcast
We should talk with microphones this time.
That's right. Yeah, we should probably not talk with microphones other times. So being responsible for client success at Liger, that means, what does that mean from a focus perspective?
So we focus on client retention, strategy ongoing for our clients, and reporting and project management, account management. So it's the relational, the strategy, and helping our clients just be successful, right? That's in the name. We want them to be successful and grow, and we grow with them.
Yeah, and they are often focused on acquisition. So they're looking to bring in new people for their funnel or otherwise. Yes?
Yeah.
And so there's this kind of balance, right, between do we focus on acquisition, which I feel like if we broke it down, 90% of the people who come to us, they're looking for new people. They want to sell to new people. And then your role within Liger is about retaining, keeping the clients that we have, making sure that they're happy, those types of things. So which one do you think is better? Is one better?
Well, I think everyone needs both, right? Liger needs both. We need to constantly be filling the pipe with new potential clients and acquiring new ones, but then retaining them is gold, right? It's once you've got someone and you've developed that relationship and you've fine-tuned the strategy to keep that going and building that momentum is a lot easier than starting from scratch with a brand new client from our perspective, right? So it's the same for our clients, right? Once they've got loyal customers, they want to keep them coming back. So we have strategies focused around that, but then they also need to acquire new customers constantly or clients. So there's strategies for that as well.
Yeah.
So and.
Yeah, both and. And so on the retention side, so and I like your point about it being easier to keep a client. It's the whole, you buy the hamburger and then you sell them the milkshake too.
Yeah.
You make more money off the milkshake because
I worked at Arby's. It was Jamocha shake. So first you would have to they order a sandwich and then you'd have to say, would you like curly fries with that? And then, and would you like a milkshake with that? So you just keep upping the game. Yeah. Until there was nothing left to sell. Yeah.
So you had somebody buying 15 items before it was over with.
Or just no, stop asking.
Yeah.
Please go.
Well, that's there's a Jimmy John's near our house and that woman has it down pat, right? So do you want cheese on that? I'm like, no, I don't want cheese.
Keep your cheese, keep your mayonnaise.
Would you like a bacon? No, stop. I'm like, I got to order another sandwich now. don't ask me if I want other options on it. This is the conversation I have at the Jimmy John's drive-thru.
I would love to watch you interact with this woman.
Well, number one, they can't hear me anyway. I have issues with like all the drive-thrus and anything, right?
That's true.
Yeah, they're like, they don't know what I ordered. They don't know who I am. At least at Starbucks, I go so often they know me by name, so they just like order my drink.
You just have to go to that one Starbucks.
Just go to that one Starbucks
all the time.
It's worth it. Totally worth it, because there's not going to be some weird thing, that they give me that they think I'm going to drink.
They're guessing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he said this. Pretty sure, but he didn't. No.
Not even close. And Mask World was not good for me. I just stopped ordering.
Oh, I had to be on Zoom calls and things with you, where it's like you're on the other side of the room. What, Eric? What? Speak up.
Yeah. Okay. We've gotten off topic.
Right,
yes.
sorry.
So in the world of retention, so you're talking about, looking at what a client's doing, but what else could you do for them? Yeah.
Can you rephrase that question?
So like in the world of retention, so often when we think about acquisition, you're trying to, bring people in, like you said, for the RB sandwich.
Yeah.
But then it's, well, does this person want the Jamocha milkshake as well?
Jamocha shake. Good job.
I said it right.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So is the strategy for that, like, is the content and kind of what are those tactics and things that people put in place for those pieces?
So a lot of like the retention tactics are like customer loyalty things, where it's outbound email campaigns that you're constantly nurturing your existing base. The things they're interested in. You're feeding them that educational content. You're reminding them you have this special thing coming up. And then social media, right? You're encouraging them to follow you on social media, and you're reminding them about all these different services you offer so that you stay top of mind. And then with the acquisition, it's like you need to get outside your ecosystem that exists already. Mm-hmm. So it's how do you get, ad placements in the right spots where new people are going to see you, earned media.
Yeah.
Is a great, way to do that. Or, I lost it. There was another great thing I was going to say. I'll tell you in a minute.
What was interesting though, which kind of took me down a track, is we're always working with clients and they are only dealing within what we consider their organic reach.
Right.
So people who are already following them, people who are already on their list, but we're often promoting to those lists the thing that's like just the sandwich, not the Jamocha shake.
Right.
We're not talking about, they already bought that part. They don't need that anymore.
They already know the basics about what you do.
Yeah,
right?
They're in the fold.
They're part of the family.
They're part of the family. So to get outside of that, you got to do something different.
Tell them about the new thing or the different way they could use your service or your product, like something new to get them thinking about the next purchase they could make with you or how they could grow their account with you, whatever that means to that particular client. Yeah. And then you got to get like the new people outside your ecosystem aware that you exist and into your basic, nurture funnels.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really, that's interesting because it's kind of and we look at clients who come to us and they may have a large list, but that's a large list of people who sort of already know who they are.
They're already warmed up, which is great. I mean, because that is that gold retention. It's like stay in front of them, don't lose them, but add value to them. Yeah. Don't just keep telling them the same thing. Hey, do you know we sell widgets? Hey, we sell widgets. Hey, remember we sell widgets? It's like, I get it. Tell me something new and interesting. Like, what else you got?
Well, and also know me, because like that's the thing that I run into with those type of retention programs where, and my favorite example, I use this all the time, is I buy things from Banana Republic, but they will send me both dresses and slacks. My wife doesn't buy things from Banana Republic, so they shouldn't be sending me things. She doesn't buy women's clothes there.
Right.
I don't buy women's clothes there. If you were curious.
Thanks for clarifying.
So segmenting that list down and really using it in a way that because you should know that customer. You should know kind of what you would be talking to.
Yeah, your content should be responsive to the choices that they're making and the behaviors that they're taking on your website or the ways they're raising their hand. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, men's clothing. Okay, we should be selling you. Oh, we have these new men's shoes. You might be interested in this, right? You bought a jacket, so maybe this thing, but not like a woman's purse. Like, that just shows that they're not really paying attention. There's there's no person. It doesn't feel like there's a person on the other end of that transaction, right? And Liger's very relational.
Yeah.
We have very relational clients, a lot of B2B, a lot of, long decision-making processes. And so it's like we really have to show that we know the client on the other end to really make an impact and to keep and to retain our business.
Yeah, to build that trust. So what are some of the mistakes that you see companies make? Let's say on both sides. We'll start on retention. So what is the mistake that you kind of think, they're headed down that path and this is something that maybe they should be avoiding?
So mistakes that like clients make, when they're trying to retain.
We don't make any mistakes. We're Liger.
No, never. We learn fast. That's what we do. Is forgetting about their existing loyal customers and really just pitching for acquisition, like not focusing on those nurture campaigns, not trying to upsell, not being smart about how they're segmenting their existing list so that they're building and adding value and building that relationship with their customers, forgetting about them on social media and only targeting, like you were referenced earlier, only targeting the new people. Hey, did you know?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we already know that.
Tell me something new.
Tell me something new. Yeah. So those are the basic mistakes, right? Not focusing any of their marketing dollars toward retention, only focusing on external new lead acquisition.
Yeah. And I see on the the retention side, that's a great place to do things like employee spotlights or customer stories or, tell me what's going on.
Oh yeah. Something interesting behind the scenes, like how the sausage is being made back there, like things like that are super interesting.
Or finding out like an employee has some hidden skill. We're working with a client right now who wants to do a unique storyline. And I think that's great because they want to find out what makes those employees unique.
I love those. I learned so much about our clients through those. Yeah. It's like one of our recent clients was like, I was a stand-up comedian. I'm like, that makes so much sense. I'm glad I knew that. Tell me some more. Yeah.
My daughter wants to try to stand-up comedy. That's like a thing. And you know what the content's going to be, right? You do know this.
Her childhood.
Yeah.
Are you a little afraid?
Our friends are like,
she's got great material.
So there. The second she does it the first time, we are so there. And she has never smoked in her life, but she does sound exactly like Kathleen Madigan if she wants to. If you've ever heard her as a comedian, and Kathleen Madigan is like 3 packs a day, I think, and bourbon. So
she would be a fantastic stand-up.
She does.
Oh my gosh.
She can imitate her exactly. So that's one of her kind of things. So squirrel. I thought about that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to go to commercial break, and when we come back, so we talked a little bit about mistakes being made on the retention side, and maybe even thinking about use of surveys, like where do surveys fit in this kind of area?
Okay, yeah.
And then talk a little bit then on some kind of mistakes you've seen being made on the acquisition side. All right. So we'll be back in just a second. You're listening to The Claw, brought to you by Liger Partners. I'm Eric Holtzclaw, Chief Strategist, and I'm talking today with Cynthia Hayes. She is responsible for client success, and we'll be right back.
Thanks so much for watching the Claw podcast. We'll be back after this short break.
When I first met the Unicorn Marketing Agency, everything was rainbows and, well, unicorns. They promised overnight marketing results for my business, leads my sales team couldn't keep up with. Once I signed up with them, they didn't even hold up any of their promises, even after months. And the only thing they gave me were excuses. After a while, communication with them became spotty and they were hard to get a hold of. Eventually, they stopped responding altogether. Overall, I lost a total of about $23,000 over a 4-month period, and I lost a lot of valuable time and energy.
And we're back. You're listening to The Claw, the marketing podcast for C-suite executives. I'm talking today with Cynthia Hayes. She is responsible for client success at Liger Partners. So she is a fellow Liger. So thanks for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And so we've talked in the last segment a little bit about the differences between client acquisition and client retention. And kind of as we went to the commercial break, we mentioned the concept of using surveys within client retention. I know that's one of your, you like that one.
I do like that one. I like that a lot. I like the idea of surveying new clients after they've been with us for, a set number of months. It takes a little while to get in and get in the groove and all of that, but then to get some feedback on how we're doing, because that's how we get better, is by learning the good things that we want to do more of and the other things we need to clean up from the client's perspective. And then, like, we do an annual survey with our clients, like we did last Christmas in our Christmas sweaters.
Did you wear a Christmas sweater?
No, I think it was red.
Oh, okay.
It was festive.
I didn't know I had to wear a Christmas
It was
sweater.
appropriate.
Okay.
Well,
I was in front of my Christmas tree, but
we were all in front of our Christmas trees. COVID year, stuck at home.
Right.
But yeah, that was actually a pretty cool way to do it. We personalized our surveys with little video clips. So it's, "Hi, Bob. So good to see you." Well, I wouldn't say that, I guess, but "Hi, Bob." Thanks
You
for
could
being-"
say that. That's sort of like,
So good
it's
for
like
you
when you
to
get out of
see
the
me.
cab and they're like, "Nice trip." And you say, "Nice trip too." And they're like,
Yeah,
"I'm not going anywhere."
That's
It's
not
like,
what,
right.
yeah. But yeah, so we did these little video clips that personalized the surveys for our clients and had them, they could play it and then they answered a couple questions. It felt very high touch and personal, which we like to be.
Yeah.
And we got some great feedback from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a lot of testimonials that we could use and, share on our website. And then, some great critical feedback where it's like, I love this. I wish you did a little more of this. And it's like super helpful to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great retention tool for anyone.
Well, we can tie that. We're using that Thanks platform this year because last year the fulfillment of stuff on the back end, but having things like that where you can do little short gifts and things.
Yeah, you can celebrate your customers. Like there's a milestone, there's an anniversary with their company. They landed a great deal, just celebrating with them, or someone's sick and you can send them a little thing. Yeah, it's a nice touch.
One of our clients really likes Skittles.
Yes, she does.
She was in the middle of moving, and I don't know what we sent her, but I did get a phone call from her, and she asked if I was trying to kill her. She's like, "How many Skittles do you think I need? This is the most Skittles I've ever had, and I am just eating them endlessly." So I think we sent a lot of Skittles.
It made an impact.
It certainly did.
And she's still a client.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So anyway, so those kind of things, and those little small, it doesn't have to be big. It's a coffee. It's a, remembering something, knowing, that because they're part of what your success is. Like those clients, like
Absolutely.
they're part of making your business work.
Yeah.
And so then on the acquisition side, if you could, wave a magic wand or tell someone, "Hey, we've seen people do this acquisition thing before and it's just a really bad idea." What are some of those that you're just like not, shake your head when you see a client go down that path?
The worst is the spamming. Clients that really want to spam someone's email with their message.
What, you don't like unsolicited mail?
I don't. I just don't. It never really performs well. They're like buying a list. They're hoping this thing works. It's just not our favorite practice for sure.
Yeah.
We see a lot better results when we're able to, through some organic, but through a lot of research, like really go after a segment, a persona online that we can mimic, or start showing them ads in natural places where it doesn't feel like they're being spammed. It's just like, "Oh, we see you're interested in cars, and now you're going to see a car ad over here." But there's some level of interest there, so it's not just all of a sudden showing up in their inbox. So yeah, that's the biggest, most painful one, I think, for me.
Yeah, and we have to always set up like a separate ecosystem for it because we don't want to do anything to damage their existing domain.
Damage their domain, and have all these repercussions where now all of a sudden they can't send anyone an email.
Yeah.
It's like a whole thing that it requires a whole separate kind of strategy and its own little ecosystem so you don't damage your existing clients and that reputation that you've built with them. So Yeah, it gets messy.
Messy. And the other thing that I've noticed, and it's going to be interesting to see what the pendulum looks like, because, direct mail was a thing you didn't do. And now that's kind of coming back because it's something not everybody else is doing.
Right.
But with email, the email service providers that you're receiving email on do such a great job of filtering it.
They do. If you haven't interacted with a company's email in like 3 or 6 months, you will never see an email from them.
Right.
Like you just won't.
Yeah.
They're like all these email service providers are filtering that out on behalf of the user.
Yeah.
Because people get so inundated. Yeah. With spam. So it's like email is a tactic and it can be very effective, but it also needs to be coupled with some value add somewhere. So you've got to they're seeing you an email, they're seeing an ad, and there's this, social media post that takes them to a landing page where they learn about something they're genuinely interested in because you've been smart about how you've, profiled them online. So it's all helpful information, and you're not leading them down this trail that they don't benefit from in the end.
Yeah. This is funny because you said benefit from the end, and I'm about to use an example. And the Williams and Sonoma, in my opinion, from a B2C perspective, does a very good job of
They're
this.
great.
You
Yeah.
get you'll get an email and it's got this mixer in it, and then you'll see the ad, and then you'll see and then
Very buttoned up.
yeah. And so for me, that means that I'm ready to buy the mixer, right? Because I've now seen it everywhere in every way, but it's very consistent. Everywhere you're going to see it, every time you're going to think about it, it's going to be there. And they're very thoughtful about that. It doesn't feel as kind of just spray and pray.
Hey, buy this.
Right.
Hey, buy this.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
all worth
this
it.
discount is going to go away tomorrow. Probably not.
Probably not.
There'll be another one tomorrow. It's like the person who buys the full price appliance, because appliances are always on a sale. So in your role at Liger and thinking about client success, how do you define that?
Well, so we
This is
define.
very philosophical.
Okay.
I'm just curious.
Well, I'm not going to give you that kind of answer. So.
I'm looking for a big grand yeah.
No, so we know the client's goals. We sit down with the client at the beginning and we review their data, qualitative and quantitative, routinely to see how we're performing against those goals, to see if we need to adjust the strategy. So it's all based on that. I mean, that's really the only way we can truly measure success. We know that when a client stays with us a long time and we've earned their trust and we're retaining them, we're doing good things, and it's a good partnership because Liger, we like to be partners with our clients and not be seen as just an outside vendor who's dispensable or whatever. We really, we champion our clients. We are an advocate for them. We want them to succeed. That's my team.
Yeah.
So I think when the client is happy and achieving their goals, whether that's awareness or sales or, whatever those different things are, when we're doing that for them on their behalf and they're seeing and feeling those results, then it's a success.
Yeah. And I think that's an important point, because there are I'll use the word agency, and we purposely call ourselves a firm, but there are these relationships that clients have with their agencies that are contentious, and it's almost like it's contentious on purpose. And we don't want to be in that space.
We don't battle our clients.
No.
We advocate for them. We want them to do well. I mean, that's fun for us. If something's not going well or we have to constantly bash heads with a client, then it's this isn't a good partnership.
Right.
This should be fun.
Yeah.
This should be a fun experience for both of us.
Yeah, well, that's part of why, because I've done other kinds of companies in the past, and I was like, marketing, well, that should be a fun company, because you get to come up with creative ideas and deploy them out in the world and see how they do. It's almost like taking your kid and putting them on stage. It's like, hey, we got this
See how
idea.
this goes.
Hope you learned your lines. So, yeah. And so in thinking about, future things for, are there any interesting sort of either customer acquisition or retention trends that you're seeing that
mostly for retention, I'm just seeing a lot of emphasis on some dollars being applied to that retention, taking some dollars from the salesy acquisition side of things to really those nurture campaigns, to how do we nurture through social media. Those are kind of the big two, but then also what content do we need to be creating on our website? So if you're already using our thing, we're educating you, more on how to use it better, or different ways you could use it, or whatever, or new offerings that we, do have to upsell. But so the major shift I'm seeing and that I like is that emphasis on applying resources, like dedicating resources to retention.
Yeah. So it's going from like not even thinking about it to it being a thing.
Yeah. It's almost like, oh, great, we've retained people. I guess because we did a good job. It's like, well, you need to do more than that to retain, right? Like you actually have to be intentional and make sure that you're staying in sync with them through their whole journey and their life cycle if you want them long term.
Yeah, one of my favorite people who kind of lived in the same world and had a similar mindset to you, she would ask, how have we surprised and delighted? How have we? And that was always her, surprised and delighted.
Surprised and delighted our clients. That's great.
Yeah. So I wanted to
love that. Yeah.
Because a surprise cannot always be delightful.
Yeah.
So you don't want to surprise them.
Someone.
Right. Yeah. But how have we surprised and delighted them? And that was her kind of mission in life.
Yeah.
Is to think about it that way.
That's great.
Yeah.
It keeps the focus on a nice touch, and it keeps it client focused.
Right.
It's like, it's not about us just going through and doing our job, and we do a good job, so we're good. It's like, no, we need to go above and beyond for our clients and surprise and delight them while we're achieving their goals. Yeah.
Thank you, Cynthia, for being on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So you've been listening to The Claw. I've been talking with Cynthia Hayes. She's responsible for client success at Liger Partners. And The Claw is the marketing podcast for C-suite executives. And thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Claw podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe, rate and review this podcast. And if you or someone you know wants to make an appearance on this show, email us at yourbestie@ligerpartners.com.